Hello, this is Reverend Don Lewis coming to you from beautiful Salem. And our question tonight comes to us from our friend whose name is a long string of numbers, who has asked a number of questions of the vlog in the past. And tonight our numerical friend continues last night's theme about Hollywood and the media by asking my opinion of the film The Craft, and whether it portrays Wicca accurately, and whether it has helped or hurt the Wiccan community. And there are, of course, a number of questions implicit in this question, and I will try to answer them one at a time. In the first one, the question of whether the film The Craft accurately portrays Wicca, well, no. If you watch the film, it obviously does not accurately portray Wicca, if you know Wicca, and some of the reasons it does not accurately portray Wicca include the very unrealistic portrayal of magic. And, you know, a lot of people who watched The Craft came away thinking that magic was a much less transcendental sort of thing than it actually is, and that you could do things like change your hair color through magic, which of course we do not do. Some of the behaviors exhibited in the film certainly do not exhibit what we would hope to see in the Wiccan religion. So in those senses, no, it doesn't really reflect the Wiccan religion in an accurate manner. However, I do think it's fair to say that taking into account the fantasy elements, in many other ways, it is an accurate portrayal of many young people's experience of Wicca at that time and since, particularly young people who, coming into the religion, find themselves having to be self-directed because either no temple or teacher is available in their area, or they're not welcomed by those that are. And there are many possible pitfalls to that experience, and one of them is basically the subject of this film. And if you remove the fantasy element, not necessarily the magical element, but the extent to which the magic is portrayed in an unrealistic way, the story really isn't all that unrealistic. The story is basically about a small group of teenage Wiccans who form a coven that is subsequently torn apart by personality conflicts. And you know, if you've been in the Wiccan community any length of time, you know that's a pretty realistic portrayal. And tells the story of many, many real-life groups with a little special effects embellishment. I understand that in one version of the movie, prior to its being released, there had been a character who was the proprietress of the local metaphysical bookstore who was given a larger role than she had when the film actually came out, which, had it been left intact, would have made it a somewhat more realistic portrayal, in which basically the teenagers seek out an adult Wiccan and get more realistic direction and more appropriate direction, but that was cut out of the final version. However, having said that, like I say, in a lot of ways, I think it is kind of a realistic portrayal of what people have experienced in some cases in the Wiccan community, with a lot of special effects added. Now, whether it has helped or hurt the Wiccan community, I think it helped it tremendously. One of the things that is shown in the movie that I think is a fairly accurate depiction of reality is a basic Wiccan ritual of a very simplistic sort. But it really, I think, showed people some of what we really are, and more importantly, took some of the fantasy of what people perhaps had thought we were away. I think that it is one of the important steps in demystifying the nature of Wicca for the wider world, and taking some of the sting out of the W word for people. I think it put a human face on the Wiccan religion, and I think that's rather important. It was certainly extremely popular at the time, and I knew quite a few people who came into the religion because they saw that film. And of course what they found here was not exactly what they saw in the film, and some of them stayed and some of them didn't. But it aroused for many people an interest in the reality of Wicca, and for others, as I say, I think it took some of the bitterness out of that W word that they may have had from other sources, and replaced it with a more human understanding. So I personally think the film helped us. However, as an accurate depiction, it's definitely a mixed bag. Certainly, the depictions of magic are extremely unrealistic. However, the depictions of interpersonal politics are a little more realistic, unfortunately. And this is why, if you're going to have a group, it's really important to study group dynamics a little bit, and to also be in a position where you are trying to deal with your own inner issues so that they don't come out in the way that they do in this movie. It's much better to confront your inner issues, resolve and heal them, than to have them come around from behind and surprise you. So those are my thoughts on The Craft, and until next time, may you blessed be. But wait, don't forget our books, Witch School First, Second, and Third Degree, and also Living the Wiccan Life, and Ritual in Theory and Practice, available at a bookstore near you, or get them direct from us at www.witchschoolstore.com.